So welcome to Entrepreneurship is the New Black. Today's webinar is all about building an online business that never goes out of style, and it is hosted by yours truly, Alexis, aka MissTrenchcoat. So I want to give you guys a little bit of the behind the scenes, almost like a little bit of my intention for this webinar today. So we see a lot of examples of entrepreneurship and online business in social media and across the web, but looks can be deceiving. So today I want to teach you some real lessons of topics not always addressed in the well-curated feeds of many online businesses. Because if entrepreneurship is the path for you, you need to know, you need to go into it with your eyes wide open and armed with strategies and lessons that actually move the needle. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, I've got a question for you. What does being an entrepreneur mean to you? Right now, I want you to leave me a comment and let me know what brings you here today, who you are, and where you are currently in your journey to entrepreneurship, because I want to have an understanding of who you are as a aspiring or a current entrepreneur, and really what it is that's driving you to be here today and to make your business and entrepreneurial dreams work. So feel free to leave those in the comments. And as you are writing those in, I'm going to share with you what entrepreneurship means to me. So to me, entrepreneurship means, first and foremost, being your own boss. It means being in control of what you're doing and your earning potential. This is something that people who go to, a normal, I'll just say 9-to-5 job where they're working for someone else, you're not your own boss. Even if you're in a management position, there's always someone higher than you. You're always being told what to do and not really having control of your own destiny and your own work, even if you're the kind of person who sees what would be best for your life and you see what's going to be best for your business. Like even if you work for someone else's business, right? You don't always get to call the shots. So for me, entrepreneurship means being your own boss and especially having control over your earning potential, because when you work a 9-to-5 job, you have your salary and that's it. You may work hourly, and if you work overtime, you make more, but you don't have control over how much you're being paid. Entrepreneurship to me also means working from anywhere, okay? So this is a concept I absolutely love. It means being free to design my life and make choices that work for me without feeling chained to a desk or an office. So, this sort of office sort of work is, I feel like something that's really happened in the last century, right? Where people go to an office. I guess people have gone to factories before, and really just having this sense of an ultimate schedule that really dictates all of our lives in society. I really want to break free from that. So entrepreneurship for me means having the opportunity to, wherever I am in the world, I can still run my business. In this picture you're looking at here, I was on vacation in Las Vegas. And I was in a little cabana on obviously laying on a hammock. And I have another hammock picture in here too. You'll see, I love hammocks. But I was literally editing a YouTube video because I was doing Vlogmas, and this was 2 years ago or something like that. So being able to work from wherever with my laptop, to me, that's everything I'm about. Oh, look, here's another hammock photo. I knew there was another one. Entrepreneurship means making money in your sleep. Okay, so not just earning while you're working, but I can't even describe how amazing it feels to wake up most mornings and see those PayPal notifications for sales that came in overnight. So for me, I just love the idea that I can put in effort and the effort multiplies, as opposed to going to a job day in and day out and you're just being paid for the hours you work, right? This is all has to do with this unlimited earning potential, really being able to build something that sustains itself with very little effort on your part. Obviously, there's a lot of initial investment, but once you've got the ball rolling, and I'm going to talk about how you do that today, that's what being an entrepreneur means to me, is that making money in your sleep. I absolutely love it. And of course, finally, entrepreneurship to me means taking back the ultimate luxury. So what is the ultimate luxury? I'll give you guys a hint. It's something we all want more of, but we are only losing it every second. And that is time. It's the only thing that really matters to me. I think it's really the only thing that matters in general. how much you have and how you choose to spend it, right? That's what your life is comprised of. And, obviously there's other things in life like joy and love and family and things like that. So I don't mean it in that sense, but I mean is that all we have really is time, and it's what we're going to be doing with that time that really is going to dictate our lives and how happy we are. So that's really the ultimate luxury for me, is having the time to live my life and to go about what I want to be doing with my life without feeling like I'm on someone else's schedule. So let's talk about this luxury of time, shall we? It's why I do what I do, so that I can live life on my own terms, so I can define my own schedule, and I can have time for what matters to me. Time is a concept that many aspiring business owners fail to master, in my opinion. So I think when it comes to being a business owner or an entrepreneur, one of the things that trips people up is understanding what is worth your time, what is stealing your time, and how to create more time. And I realize this is a little bit of a discrepancy from what I said before, is that we're all losing time, but there are ways, there are strategies for creating more time for yourself. Now, you're obviously not going to make a 6-hour day, right? You're not going to be able to create more time in that sense, but by establishing strategies and principles in your life that help you to streamline your life and your business, you are able to create more time for yourself. And to me, that is what makes time, the ultimate luxury. So in order to be a successful entrepreneur, you really must learn how to master time, right? That's really, for me, being an entrepreneur is all about being someone who wants more time and needing to be a master of time in my own life. Okay, so before we get any deeper in this topic, I want to be clear on who this workshop is for, because speaking of time, right, I don't want to waste your time. So who is this workshop today for? Like, who's going to get the most benefit out of this today? So you're in the right place if you want to start an online business, including a blog, YouTube, an Etsy shop, maybe a service, etc. If that's you, you're in the right place. If you already have some existing platforms set up and you'd like to monetize them, maybe you're someone who already has a YouTube and you'd like to start making money from it, or you're someone who's got a nice following on Instagram and you'd like to, promote products and sell things and, make money from what you're already doing and loving, you're in the right place. And if you have a physical business, and I will say also like a services business as well, that you want to bring online to increase your revenues and your profits, you're also in the right place today, okay? So this workshop is going to be useful to you as well. So how to get the most from this webinar today, right? Because I'm someone who does these a lot. I go on a lot of webinars myself. I love learning this way. So I have a few tips for you guys to make the most of it. And there's 92 of you here right now. So, I want to make sure that you guys are getting as much value as possible from today's webinar. So first of all, turn your phone on to silent or flip it over so you don't have to see the screen and any notifications. Shut your door if you're in a room where you can have privacy, or put on your headphones if you're somewhere more public and you want to get immersed in the information. Take notes. We always all learn better when we're writing things down, so make sure you take some notes. And I promise that this will be worth your time. If you spend a little bit of undivided time with me, you're going to learn a lot. And don't forget to download the workbook. There is a link right below this video feed if you haven't downloaded it already and printed it out. It was also emailed out to you. So definitely go ahead and get the workbook so you can start taking notes and start strategizing for how you're going to make entrepreneurship happen for yourself. So what are you going to learn today, right? I'm going to give you guys an outline real quick of what we're going to learn so you guys are very clear on that. I've got 3 lessons for you, okay? Number 1 is why most online businesses fail and why you have an advantage for being here today, okay? So I'm telling you guys, there's an advantage to being here today, and it's going to help you overcome business failure if applied properly. And that is the first lesson we're going to talk about. Lesson number 2. Today I'm breaking down how I got started with my business, and I'm sharing key insight that I see very clearly now that was the reason my business beat the odds, okay? So we're going to be talking about my story and sharing insights into what I did and what I've learned from what I did, what works. And lesson number 3, the phases of online entrepreneurship. And lesson number 3, the phases of online entrepreneurship. There are 6 of them in total, and within each, I'm going to explain exactly what you need to know to take action for your own business. So that is lesson number 3 today. And stick with me until the end, because I'm going to tell you guys how you can get a free online business video review by me. If that is something that is interesting to you, and proceeding with building a business and, having established entrepreneurship in your own life. If that's something that's interesting to you, follow through to the end, and we're going to talk about that. And what this really means is me looking over your business concept and platforms and explaining to you with my more experienced eyes how to get your business and plans in line with the 6 phases that we're talking about for entrepreneurship today. So that's exactly what a business review is. Me helping you apply these lessons one-on-one, more or less. Okay, so right now, before we get into the deep nitty-gritty of what's going on, I want you to set a goal for what you hope to get from today's workshop, and I want you to write down any questions to ask me in the Q&A. So write down your questions that you have now. If they get answered in the workshop, excellent. If not, you're going to ask me in the Q&A. And I always think it's important to set a goal for what you're trying to get out of this, because this is going to be like an hour and a half of your time today. I don't want it to be wasted. I want you to have at least some sort of goal that's the reason why you're sitting here watching this today. Okay, so please write that down. And there's space in the workbook for you guys to do this stuff as well too. But just in case you're not looking at the workbook, this is the time you're going to write it down. Okay. By the way, who am I? And why am I qualified to be teaching this information to you today? So I'm someone who's been doing this for a while, right? So you guys know me. I'm Alexis Giostra. I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who designs and sells digital productivity content to help you work smarter, not harder. I am a blogger, a YouTuber, a productivity guru, and a small business mentor. And I left my sales job at a Fortune 50 company after 5 years to start my own online business in May of 2014, and I replaced my income in 6 months. I'm rounding the corner for 3 years. It's so exciting. Like, I cannot even believe it's been this long and that I'm still surviving. And that's going to be a theme in today's webinar, because I'm definitely someone who's been doing this entrepreneur gig for a while. And every day I'm earning a full-time income, and I'm beating the odds that are set against online businesses. And like I said, you're going to learn more about me and my story as we go throughout this as well. So we don't need to talk about me too much. So now that we're properly introduced, you and I, let's jump in, okay? Shall we? So lesson number 1, why most online businesses fail and why you have an advantage for being here today. So here's a shocking but true statistic for you. 90% of online startups fail within 120 days. Let that sink in for a moment. 90% of online startups fail within 120 days. What is that? Even 4 months? They don't even make it 4 months. That's really overwhelming, isn't it? So let's figure out why. Why do these online businesses fail? Because that's the question, right? In order to make sure we're not failing, we need to understand why these businesses do fail. The first reason that online businesses fail is that they're ignorant to the statistical probabilities that they face, okay? So business is an uphill climb whether or not you're doing it online or offline. And online business is often glorified. We really only see the success. And that's kind of hearkening back to what I was talking about earlier at the start of the webinar, that, when it comes to entrepreneurship, we get this sort of let's say timeline view of entrepreneurship where we're just seeing the good things about entrepreneurship and we're not seeing the real struggle. But because of that, a lot of people don't understand really how hard it is to make it work. So with little understanding of the effort involved, or with goals that are too lofty, people just give up. And that's one of the reasons why the failure rate is so high and so fast. Next reason why online businesses fail, because they're unable to see and address their failure, Okay. So no business has ever gone from their initial concept to success without making adjustment. 100% I know this. There's no way that someone came up with a perfect idea and saw it through and it never changed. A really great example of that is the medium we're using right now to have this little chat is YouTube. You guys, YouTube started as a dating site, like a video dating site. Look what it is now. It has gone through so many iterations, it's not even funny. So when people are starting these businesses, their ego can get in the way when things aren't working. And if you fail to adjust course, you're just going to lead yourself to failure. So the other thing that kind of goes into this, right, being able to see and address your failure is also, I think, a lack of knowledge on the online and digital marketing space, right? So, if you're failing, it means you may not have the right information. You may not have the knowledge. And if you're not able to see and address your failure, right, you're not able to learn what you need to learn, it's just going to be a downhill spiral for you, unfortunately. Another reason why online businesses fail is they tend to take on more than they can handle. And this is a great quote that I absolutely love by Tony Robbins that says, most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. Let's think about this for a second, because this is like an amazing quote that is so accurate. It just charges me up thinking about it. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year. What they can do right now. People have all of these goals, all of these aspirations. They want to work on 25 different projects. I call it being a multi-passionate entrepreneur, right? We want so much right now, but we underestimate what we can do in the long term. That maybe it's better if we do this piece right now and do those other pieces later, right? So I think this is just a perfect example of the fact that online businesses do too much. They try to do too much, too fast, too soon, okay? And to go along with that, online businesses tend to have too many priorities without clarity, at least the ones that fail. They have their eyes are in too many places, and they're not crystal clear on what they're doing. There are too many goals. There's too many things they're trying to achieve. They're like, I want this income and I want this amount of followers and I want all of these products and I want to do this and I want to expand here and I want to write a book. All of those things are wonderful. I think goals are wonderful, but having too many on your plate at one time is a recipe for disaster. And of course, having too many projects that conflict with your day-to-day operations is also a recipe for disaster, right? So this is the thing that a lot of people, I guess maybe have businesses that aren't doing well, tend to not understand is that even just the day-to-day operations of your business, whether or not you're someone who, like me, maybe has a passive income business, or if you're someone who actually does something where you're manufacturing, like let's say you're like a jeweler, right? Like you're a handcrafted jewelry business. You have day-to-day operations that you need to work on, but you also have these goals and these projects to expand your business that's basically causing you to have too much pressure on your time. It's causing you to really get overwhelmed and have just too much on your plate at one time. So that's another reason why online businesses fail. And finally, this last reason is I think that many online businesses that fail don't understand basic business planning. So this goes down to if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So it is something that's so trite, like so overused, this quote, but it's so true, is that if you're not setting yourself up for success with proper planning and time management, you're just going to fail. It's just going to happen. It's sad, but it's true that setting reasonable priorities, goals, and projects really do matter, being reasonable with your time. And of course, having good practices for execution and follow through are essential if you want to succeed. So let's talk about that natural advantage that I said you had for being here today. Because number one, I'm explaining your business probabilities now. I told you the worst, didn't I? Like 90% are going to fail. So right now you're getting your probabilities kind of dealt with. Today I'm going to show you how I adjusted course on my business. So that whole concept of not being able to see and address their failure, that's one of the reasons we're talking about my business specifically, because I think that, not to toot my own horn, but as someone who's been doing this for 3 years, when most others are gone in 4 months, I think that I did a very good job of adjusting course. And I want to be able to show you that so you guys understand how that worked for me. You're also going to see how I built my business gradually and not overnight so that I wasn't taking on more than I can handle. Now, I realize that many of you who are watching this probably consider me to be a very productive person. And I do have I would say a tremendous capacity to get things done. But I really did grow very gradually, especially in the beginning when slow and steady is so important. And we'll be talking about that. And the last natural advantage that you have for being here today is that if you're here today, you're probably a member of my community. So you're probably a planner person or you have access to my free planning resources right now. Now, if you think about that, you guys, I've made myself a resource for you for years. And I have the tools, the strategies, and the know-how to support you on your journey. So right now, you've got a natural advantage for being one of my peeps, okay? I'm telling you, you're not alone. I literally have your back. I'm here for you. We're going to do it together and here in the comment section with this wonderful community that we are building here. Okay? So that was lesson number 1. Let's jump into lesson number 2, which was my journey to entrepreneurship. So to start this, we need to go way back to 2008. Okay? So we're talking, what is that? Oh my goodness. It's almost almost 9 years. 9 years, you guys. In 2008, I had just graduated college, okay? So it was a terrible time for the economy and for getting jobs, right? And I was unemployed. So I wanted to write for a magazine. So while waiting for my dream job to just land in my lap, right, I did the most logical thing I could think of, which was to start a blog. Because to me, it was a digital magazine, right? It's like basically I'm doing what I want to do already and I have complete control. But blogging wasn't what it is now. People weren't making money from blogging really. So I definitely needed to get a job. So eventually I landed a job at a Fortune 50 company doing administration, sales, and marketing. Now, it was the furthest thing from my dream job, but I was glad to have a job at this time. So I held down my 9 to 5 and worked my side hustle like it was a second job, building my blog up, right? And my brand and experimenting with social media. So I had a bunch of past blogs and brands, okay? And I'm going to show you today a very embarrassing look down memory lane for me. The progression of my blog and my brand, because it was not a straight line, you guys. So here's my first blog. It was called Black Alligator. Started it in 2008. It was a lifestyle blog. Look at the branding on this. We're looking at emerald green, which is one of my favorite colors, and black and gray, right? So it's not the turquoise that you know me as today, and certainly you don't know me as a lifestyle blogger. Next, I started a blog called The Pink Mac. And when did that start? I actually think I started it in 2009, but this screenshot is from 2012. And this had a totally different feel. It was a tech blog, pink and black, right? So changing colors again from green to pink. Then finally, I started Strange and Charmed, and this is from 2013. And this is where I really started talking about really getting in touch with what I really cared about. So, technology and productivity and social media, things like that. And that's when my branding changed yet again. New name, new color scheme with the turquoise you know now. And then, of course, here's my blog right now currently, as you guys would see it, right? I'm Strange and Charmed, work smarter, not harder. I've got a nice, beautiful layout. My content is more on point with what my messaging is. And I'm showing you guys this to really explain that, look at my progress over the last 9 years. I started with something that if you had seen it, you would have never known it was mine. And I went through 3 different blog names, 3 different color schemes, and then even right now with Strange and Charmed, I've gone through multiple iterations of just upgrading and tightening my branding to make it even bigger and better and more closer aligned with what the messaging that I want for my business is. So let this be a lesson to you that if you start one way and you have to make a change, that's absolutely fine, okay? So what you need to know about this is that my business and my online success did not happen overnight. There is no overnight success, just the illusion of it. The years that I spent dabbling with my brand and my content were years I spent gaining important skills that I would need in the future. I had to overcome setbacks and the evolution of my brand to see it to where it is today, right? So this was a long journey. And it did not happen overnight. And maybe you became aware of me overnight because I popped onto the planning scene. And we're going to talk about that in the next section, in a few sections from now. But that's what you need to know about this, is that it's not overnight. And don't think that just because you're not 100% on your direction right now, that it's a bad thing. Because I think dabbling is important. for you to gain skills and to learn what it is that you truly want in life and with your business, of course. Okay, next point in this journey. By 2014, I had made major progress. So from 2012 to 2014, I developed serious consistency in my branding and my content. So I showed you that. Strange and Charmed was launched mid 2012. I changed the branding, I changed my messaging, and at that point, I got really serious and started blogging consistently throughout the week and started making consistent content on YouTube. And my following grew consistently and my content improved and my messaging began to sync because I was developing consistency. I was also earning a consistent income from YouTube and blog sponsorships at this time. Now, it wasn't a full-time income, but I was actually seeing money come in from my consistency. So I began to see and feel that my opportunity to turn my side hustle into my 9-to-5 was approaching. Like I was beginning to feel it. It was just starting to jive, right? The time was near. Okay? So one of my favorite quotes is, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, right? So going back to what we were just looking at here, that I had spent years and years and years before I went full time for myself, from 2008 to 2014, I had spent years, 6 years, preparing myself to meet an opportunity that would come to me. Some would say that this is luck, but it's not. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And if you're the kind of person who sees someone running a business that's successful and you think, oh, they just got lucky, you're severely undermining yourself, because it's not waiting on luck that's going to make you successful. It's you actually taking action and making it happen for yourself. Even if you're doing the wrong thing, even if for years you've got the wrong branding, the wrong messaging, it's still teaching you. With every failure, you're still learning. As long as you're willing to adjust course and not give up, one day that preparation is going to meet an opportunity that you're going to be able to jump on. So what you need to know is that consistency is the quickest route to success. There is no easy button to success. There's no surefire like rocket launch to success. Consistency is the quickest route to success. When I was all over the place, I wasn't building anything, okay? So when I was putting blocks here and there, nothing was really being built because I was spreading myself too thin. But once I developed consistency with my branding, with my messaging, and was learning how to use my voice, the thing that it took me years to learn, then I actually started making progress because the blocks were starting to fit together, okay? Does that make sense? Consistency is really the quickest route to your success. The more action and execution you take, the faster you will find consistency. There is no substitution for our effort. There is no easy button on this. You have to take action, and right or wrong, even if that action is right or that action is wrong, you need to take action. And the more often you do this, the faster you're going to develop your consistency. Okay? Now, ejecting from 9 to 5. This is another fun part of the story. I'm sure many of you guys are interested in this one. So in early 2014, I stumbled upon the planner community. My platform started growing at an amazing speed when this happened, right? Because preparation meets opportunity. I had spent 6 years learning how to blog, learning how to make good YouTube content, upgrading my business, toolbox and things like that. So once I finally stumbled upon the planner community, things really started happening. It was really like magic started happening for me, and I was growing at an amazing speed. I had found a community of like-minded people who appreciated my content and my skills. And the big thing here was that it took me a while to understand that I had been building up the skills and content, but what I was missing was an understanding of who my ideal audience was. Like, I wasn't thinking about my community. I was thinking about, okay, build your skills, continue to blog, make fun content, right? But I wasn't thinking about who I was making that content for until I stumbled upon the planner community. Okay. So once I saw my opportunity to take my business full time within the planner community, I made a plan to achieve it. And how I did this specifically was I started to build up a savings cushion. Okay. So I started putting money away, and I set specific goals for income proof. So I knew that if I was going to leave my job and take the risk of leaving this like great job after 5 years, expense account, I had a company car, you guys, I had so many weeks of vacation. Like, it had taken me years to work up to that. And I was ready. I really wanted to make sure I'd be ready to like turn it down and say, I'm going to go full time for myself. So in order to do that, I needed a savings cushion, right? I needed money to be able to be in the bank just in case. And I needed to see that my income, I could get my income to a certain place. And then I would know that any additional effort I put in would mean additional income. So that's what I mean by income proof. So once I hit that goal, that income proof, right? I hit that level I wanted to be at. It was time for me to be brave and let go of my job. So it's very scary to leave a secure job, right? So I feel like there's a lot of fear that could happen for anybody ejecting from their 9 to 5. But I made the plan, right? I had made this plan. It made sense. You have your savings cushion, you have your income proof, you're seeing the numbers rise, right? So once you hit the goal, I just had to trust that I was going to be able to do it. I had to trust the plan. And this is where planning is so important. You must trust the plan. So what you need to know about this portion of my story is that the more you can prepare for your transition, the better. So if you save as much money as possible, if you get rid of excess expenses, if you simplify your life just in case, it's going to better prepare you. So what I did was I saved. I got rid of excess expenses. So like things that I was maybe like subscribed to that I was like, I don't really need to be subscribed to this anymore. Like I canceled things, like canceled memberships to things. I made sure that I streamlined my expenses and my life just in case, because I was literally ready to like bare bones it to make this happen. And then of course, you need to know that you should not let your fear hold you back. Instead, use it to fuel your passion to succeed. I'll definitely say that this fear that came from leaving my job, definitely once it was directed towards like being a passion to light me up and like make sure I was going to make it happen, that really, really set me on fire. So that's what you need to know about this portion about ejecting from 9 to 5. And now, of course, replacing my income in 6 months. This is the last piece of the puzzle. So when I went full time for myself, I thought I would be a full-time blogger and YouTuber. That was the initial plan. But it just wasn't working out for me, okay? My platforms were growing, but the income wasn't growing at the same rate. And this is really just the nature of blogging and YouTube and some social media platforms, is that more does not necessarily mean you're going to make more money. Unless you're someone who's open to accepting every single sponsorship opportunity that flies past your email, which I was not willing to compromise my content and my brand. So I was not willing to do everything it took to make being a full-time content creator the job for me, right? But something happened because I started listening to my community instead. And they were telling me what they wanted. They were saying they wanted my planner inserts and they wanted to know how I was so productive and they wanted me to do classes and teach strategies. I started listening to what the community was telling me to do. So I used my web design skills that I had built up over those years, right? Changing around different blogs. And I built out my own online shop and started designing and selling inserts, right? And as soon as this charm shop launched, right? As soon as my digital products launched, my income was transformed because I had added this income stream that I fully controlled. So instead of using platforms to promote other people's products, I started using them to share my message and my products. So that's really how I successfully replaced my income, by advertising and promoting my own products through my well-established platforms and great content. So what you need to know about this is that you can't be afraid to change course, right? Like I said, seeing and adjusting to your failure is very important for success. You can't be afraid to change your course. When blogging or YouTube wasn't earning what I wanted, I had to make a new plan. So I had to make that new income stream pop up. So you need to listen to your audience to understand what they want as well. And if you can give them what they want, if that's something that's in line with your values and your brand, that's the best way to grow your income. Adding income streams, especially ones that you control, mean that you earn more money. The money I earned from blogging and YouTube was great. It still is great, but I was working on commission from advertising in a highly competitive market. Once I made my own shop and started doing my own thing, selling my own products, I had full control over what I was selling. And I fully understood why I was selling it, because it was something that was truly my passion. Okay, so that was lesson number 2. Are we trucking through this at a good rate? I hope so. Now we get to lesson number 3, which is the phases of online entrepreneurship. Like I said, there are 6 phases. Phase number 1 is the concept phase, okay? And in this phase, you're going to learn that you can't build a business without a solid concept and brand. Okay, so talking about branding, what is branding? It is a name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature that identifies one seller's goods or services as distinct from those of other sellers. Essentially, it's what people think of when they think of your business. So people will make a snap judgment when they see your branding and they say, is this for me? And how they do that is through your colors, the patterns you use, the symbols you use in your branding, and the quality and price of your products, okay? So right now, I want you guys to play a little game in the comments with me. What do you think of when you think of my business in terms of the elements of my branding, okay? Give you guys a little second. I'm going to take another sip of water. You guys tell me, what do you think of when you think of my business visually? What are the colors, the symbols? What are the patterns, okay? Okay, we're going to start dropping them now. Ready? Okay, if you said turquoise or teal, my signature Strange and Charm turquoise, correct. That is a color that is part of my branding. If you said black and white stripes, you are very observant. Yes, I love my black and white stripes, and they're another element of my branding. If you said diamond, right, that diamond logo that I like to use, absolutely. If you said planners, right, absolutely. I'm a planner person, you guys, productivity and planning all the way. If you said computers or technology or gadgets, yep, that's all part of my brand as well. If you said coffee or inspirational quotes or coffee with inspirational quotes on them, then get it, girl, because you are right. If you said photography or cameras, absolutely, that is also part of my brand. If you said glasses, my signature geek glasses, you are absolutely correct, right? And I'm seeing here some really awesome messages in here. People are saying teal. Someone said the bright black and white stripes, glasses. We got diamond. Oh, someone said Persinger. That's so funny. That's an inside joke for Instagram. If you guys are not following me on Instagram at MissTrenchcoat, feel free to pull up your phone and follow me now. But yeah, that is my business. That is my brand. That's my business and my brand in a nutshell, you guys. And and let's go back to that before I cancel out what I was just doing. And so having a business and a brand, right, and a concept that's so unique, right? There's nobody else who has all of these things. Yeah, maybe someone else uses turquoise. Maybe someone else uses a diamond. Maybe someone else has glasses, right? There's no one else who has all of these things, though. And so having that distinct brand is what's going to establish you online. So this is why branding is so important. And it's one of those elements that is something you need to get on. Like, you need to make sure you've got your branding under control so that you're creating a business that is unique and stands out in whatever market you're working in, whatever your business is. Okay. So that was phase one. Okay. The concept phase, having the concept for your business, especially your branding worked out, phase number one. Phase two is content phase. And here you're going to be worried about platforms. You're creating your platforms with consistent content because they're the foundation to build your messaging upon, right? So you're going to want to make sure your platforms have that consistency like we talked about earlier, consistency being the quickest way to see success. Now, communication platforms, right? So what are these online platforms, okay? There are places where you will talk about your business and attract your audience and customers, okay? So this is something like your blog or your website. This is YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Tumblr, Etsy or Shop, Snapchat. All of these are online platforms that you can use for communication, right? So in order to get your content up and running, right, you need to have some platforms up and running, right? But you don't need to have every single platform. There's a lot of platforms. I listed a bunch here, 9, right? But there's way more than that. Like, I missed a bunch here. So are you supposed to be in all the places? No, you don't have to be in all the places. Absolutely not. But you need to be in a couple of places? Absolutely. And by focusing your communication platforms and your content creation to just a few platforms, that is when you're going to start to see consistent effort turning into results. So what are my main platforms? If you guys don't follow me on all of these, I've got my blog, my YouTube channel, and my Instagram. Those are my 3 biggies. They're the ones that I focus on the most. They're the ones where I've put in my time and effort and where I'm creating original content. So blog, right? My blog gets 20 to 80,000 unique visitors a month, depending on what month of the year it is, okay? That's a heck of a lot of eyes. Instagram, I've got 25,000 subscribers on Instagram. YouTube, 68,000 subscribers. So yes, I have a Facebook page with like 5,000 likes. Yes, I've got a Twitter account that has like, I don't know, 2,000 followers on it. But these are these are the main ones that I'm creating for on a consistent basis. And because of that, you see that my results are really out of the park in comparison to any other platforms that I use. Okay? So that was phase 2, your content phase, getting those platforms established and consistently developing the content for it. Phase number 3, I call this the establishment phase. Okay? It's identifying your ideal audience and community and making a plan to go after them, not just waiting for them to come to you. Okay? So you're establishing a community in this phase. And your community is your audience for your content, products, and brand. So you need to understand who your ideal audience is and what their core desires are that your brand can meet through products and content. So in order to do this, you need to talk to your audience and find out why they follow you and what they would like from you. If you have no following, what you need to do, because this is, I'm sure many of you here today have no following or very few followers, you need to talk to people that you think would be the ideal audience for your brand or business idea and see what they think, right? Because there's nothing stopping you from talking to people who are potential readers, right? Contacting those people, getting in touch, networking with them so that you can understand and sort of test out whether or not your brand and your content fits with your community, right? Which community being that third piece of the puzzle that took me a while. Once I had community, once the planner community fell into my life, I had my branding fine. I had my communication platforms and my content doing well, but until I had that community, I was nothing. I was not growing as fast as after I found the community. So in order to grow your community, you want to remain actively engaged with your followers, your readers, your audience, to foster a relationship with them. And they will be loyal supporters and ambassadors for your brand. So the people in your community are the people who are watching your videos, reading your blog posts, sharing them. They're buying your products. There's someone who's telling their best friend, hey, you need to check out this person. I love them. They're the one who's sharing your content on social media. That is what is going to cause organic growth. You having a community who are the people who want your content, and if you interact with them, if you remain engaged with them, they're going to be the people who are going to propel your business forward. Okay? So when I got started, where was I establishing my community? Okay? You might be wondering, okay? So I built my community in 3 places, more or less. One was the comment section of my platform. So here you got a little picture of a little screenshot of a video with comments on YouTube, right? So in the beginning, and I still try to do as best as I can getting back to people on YouTube now, but comments on my blog, comments on YouTube, comments on Instagram. I devoted a significant period of time to replying to comments. So that's the first place where I was establishing community, getting to know my community members, answering their questions, developing a rapport, so important. Second place were Facebook groups. And this, I'm not talking about my own Facebook group. I'm talking about other planner community Facebook groups here. So this is a little screenshot of the Kate Spade Planners Club, which was actually like a planner group that it still exists, that I was very heavily involved in circa 2014. I was really getting to know people in there. I was networking within there. I was talking to people, finding out what they wanted. I made videos because based on like people within the groups requesting videos for me, saying, oh, I would love it, Alexis, if you could do this video. And so I was establishing a community within these Facebook groups that were outside of my control, but I had the control to be able to go in and network with them, right? So that's the second place I established my community. And the third place was just interacting with other similar creators. So here you've got a screenshot here of Miss Vicky B and one of our Charmed Biz chats I did with her called How to Become Planner Famous on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, it's a wonderful video Miss Vicky and I did where we teamed up and created some great content on my channel. And by interacting with other creators who do something similar to myself, again, I was networking, I was growing my audience, I was creating cool content, and Vicky and I were teaming up to join forces to make something bigger happen. So that is where I established my community in the beginning. That's how I established myself. And, my branding was important for that. My communication platforms were important, but me going out and making sure I was interacting and connecting with people was really what sealed the deal for my community. Okay. So that was phase number 3. Now phase number 4, growth. Okay. So advertising your brand and products through content marketing leads to growth. So advertising, let's talk about that right now. Advertising is what you do to promote your brand to ensure your content and products are seen. It's also known as marketing. Now, the way that I differentiate advertising from marketing is advertising to me connotes the idea of me putting like an ad on someone else's site. I'm going outside of my own platforms to do it. Marketing is a form of advertising where you are doing it on your own platforms, right? So that to me is the difference. Now, advertising, I get it, right? No one wants to feel salesy. I get that. Like, I totally struggled with this for a very long time. But, and this is a really big but, you guys, if you don't talk about your products or your services or your content or your platforms, no one will go there. No one will buy your products. No one is going to see them unless you direct them. And yes, there are people who are going to organically find you. But if you want to establish growth, if you really want to move the needle, you need to make sure that you're cross-promoting, talking about, on YouTube, I talk about my blog. On my blog, I talk about Instagram. You have to make sure you're cross-promoting with your content and your platforms and your products. Okay? Very important part of advertising. Because people aren't really paying that much attention to what that you're doing, right? So they need to hear about your business a few times before they will buy anything from you, or before they'll check out your YouTube channel, or before they're going to follow you. Yes, someone who connects with your brand and your content will most likely find it very easy to just pick up their phone and hit subscribe, right? It's very easy for you to just direct them to do something like that if they really connect with you. But for most people, they're not paying that much attention. Like, no one's paying as much attention to your business as you are. So don't feel like you're being salesy by talking about your brand, right? Now, I have a strategy that I use that makes it very easy for me to promote myself, specifically my products and services, without feeling salesy, okay? And that's called content marketing. Content marketing is when you create valuable content around your products or your platforms, right? It's anything that you want to promote, right? And basically, you're going to promote without feeling salesy. And this is my other favorite part, you're not going to be spending money if you're doing your own content marketing. So what you're seeing here on this slide are a bunch of different images of blog posts, and some of them are YouTube videos as well, that all have to do with business topics, right? And they're all business related topics that people might be searching for. For example, my favorite WordPress plugins for bloggers. So if you are a blogger who has, WordPress and you're like, oh yeah, what plugins should I be using, right? You might find this blog post and read it and see what my favorites are and like what I recommend. And you'll be like, okay, good, this was so helpful. But then at the end of that blog post, I'm also promoting a product or promoting a webinar or something like that. I'm getting people to go somewhere else to do something else. I'm giving them a call to action. And that's what content marketing is. Great content marketing is taking valuable content and pairing it with some promotion so that you're not being salesy, so that you're giving value. It's a give and take. You're giving them all this good information, giving them 6 business assets that are more important than your business plan. If you were watching this today, you're probably interested in that topic. And I gave you a nice 6 pieces of information in there that are very important for you. And at the end, if I said, hey, sign up for a webinar, or hey, buy this business product of mine, if you found value from that post, you're probably considering it, right? That's the way content marketing works. Okay, so I hope that's clear. And that is really what goes a long way to establishing growth in that 4th phase through your advertising, using that sort of content marketing that you create, and you don't have to spend money on it. You don't have to buy advertising space anywhere. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, now phase number 5, the business phase. So this is identifying business models, developing products, and organizing into a business, because until you get to phase 5, you probably don't have a business. You've got some platforms and a nice brand and some people you're chatting with, but you're not organized into a business yet. Now, when it comes to your business models, this is what you need to know. What is a business model? It is a design for the successful operation of a business, identifying revenue sources, customer base, products, and details of financing. It is not a business plan, but it would be included in one, okay? And when it comes to business models, there's two types. There are active income models and passive income models. You guys have probably already heard me say something about passive income in this webinar. Active income models, an example of that would be like a manufacturing model. So someone who made handmade jewelry, right? That's an active business model because you're actively creating something and you have to pack it up and ship it out. There's also passive, which is my personal favorite. Something like digital products, like ebooks, like what I do, right? So creating something once, putting it up for sale, and people are able to buy it over and over and over again. I don't have to create something new every time. Now, to be clear, just so you guys understand, a blog is not a business model. So a lot of people treat a blog like it's their business. It's not a business model, but affiliate marketing via your blog is a business model. So does that make sense? Your blog itself is not a business model, but affiliate marketing via your blog is. So how do I maximize income? I use both, right? I use both so I diversify my income streams, I increase my profits, and I future-proof my business in case one stream of revenue dries out, I have others. So something I want to show you guys today that should help you with this idea of business models and understanding my income streams. I'm going to share with you guys what my income streams are, okay? And for me, I think when it comes to income streams, the more the merrier, right? So my biggest income stream is the Charm Shop, right? So I sell my products and services here at thecharmshop.com, right? So that's where I make a vast majority of my money. Next, we've got YouTube. YouTube I mostly use for advertising, but because I'm a YouTube partner, I do get money from YouTube. I also am an affiliate for Blue Chic, also for Reward Style, also for Amazon, and I do some one-on-one business consulting with clients, right? So I have all of these different streams of income and they all help me to make the most of my business and make the most of my revenue. Now, phase number 6 is entrepreneurship. Developing business administration practices for multiple income streams that allow you to achieve more with less effort. So this is going to be the difference between having a business and being an entrepreneur. And to me, that comes down to certain business administration practices that help you basically manage all those different income streams so that you're making more money in your sleep with less effort, right? So when it comes to business administration, what are the key practices of business administration to support entrepreneurship? I think that there are 3. Number 1 is business planning. We've talked about how important business planning is already. It's getting smart about how you set your goals and how you work on your business so that you're not getting overwhelmed, so that you're able to achieve things and move on to the next goal and build upon already established foundations. The second practice is business finances, keeping an eye on your income and expenses so that you're maximizing profits. And to some extent as well, trying to make sure you're actively adding more sources of income to your business where it makes sense so that you have more money to work with, so that you're not someone who's finding their business in a situation where you don't have enough money to work on a project or you don't have enough money to keep yourself afloat. And the third and final practice is business systems. Establishing consistent practices for regular business activities to streamline your actions and reclaim your time. So this is the big one here, these business systems, really, because you guys have probably heard me talk about systems before. That's really where you're going to be working smarter, not harder. That's really where you're going to start to streamline everything that you're doing so that you are reclaiming your time, so that you're not wasting your time with things that don't matter. So you understand what really moves the needle in your business and really just manage that day-to-day hustle, like we talked about before, that a lot of times businesses online fail because they fail to address the fact that they've got time constraints between their day-to-day operations and those projects and goals that they want as well. So when you create business systems, you are establishing practices that are going to help you reclaim your time and help you to fully be an entrepreneur and have that time freedom. So free your time and your life through those business practices. So I want to ask you guys right now, what would you do with more time? Like if you had more time, what would you be doing with it? right? If this was, you had this model, if these 6 phases were under your belt and you were an entrepreneur and you were making money in your sleep and you had everything streamlined and you suddenly found yourself with more time, what would you do with it? Like, have you ever even like wildly imagined what you'd be doing? I mean, I could assume that for most people, if you're sitting here and you have a family, it might be to spend more time with your family, maybe to travel, maybe to spend more time working on yourself and your own personal development. Maybe you'd be devoting time to charities or different, other organizations that really matter to you. There's so much more that you can do with your time when you've freed up your time through entrepreneurship. So I would love to hear about that. And I'm here, we got some comments coming in, volunteering more, traveling. I love that. I love, Elena, I love that that's the first thing is volunteering, because that's something that I'm so passionate about too, is really giving back whenever I can. I just think that, I'm teaching you guys these principles and these practices, and, I'm someone who's done it, but it still amazes me that I feel so blessed that I have this opportunity. I really think that's amazing. So thank you so much for that. We've got some travel photography. People are going to take more holidays, time with their kids and their family. That's so important. You guys, this is why I actually wanted to start a business. Like, I wanted to have my own business, be an entrepreneur, so that like one day I could have kids and I could like homeschool them if I wanted to. And I could go wherever, I wanted to. I could take the kids and go do something fun. Like, I am doing this for like my greater purpose in life. Yes, I think that this is part of my life, something I'm supposed to do, but you guys, I want to be free. Like, I don't want to have to be tied down. I don't want to have to send my kid to a sitter, like this is what I want for my life. And I think that, some of us are probably too afraid to even ask ourselves what we would do with more time. And I think it's really important we kind of get over that fear so we can make that hurdle. This is lovely. I love everything you guys are giving me right now. It's amazing. Okay. So what do you guys think? Are you guys ready to take control of your life and start spending more time on what matters to you? Why did you show up today? I can only guess why you showed up today. Here's my guesses. Maybe you seriously or even desperately want to start an online business. The idea of flexible work hours and unlimited earning potential could give you the ability to take care of your family, raise your children, and live and work anywhere. I know that that's really important to me. Maybe you love social media and you've spent time and energy and money growing an amateur following, but you want in on the income that you are already so close to reaching. Because within just, a few tweaks, you could turn your platforms into income generators for extra income as a student, a retiree, a stay-at-home mom, even a career girl who wants some extra spending cash. You don't need to be someone who wants to work full-time for themselves. I think you can have a 9-to-5 job and have like a side business, a side hustle, and you're still an entrepreneur and you're maximizing your income. And that income maximization can give you more freedom, because maybe you can say to your job, I'm going to work one less day a week. Or maybe you're going to say, you know what, I can afford childcare, or I can afford a bigger house, or, you have this more income coming in that gives you more options. I don't think money solves all problems, but I do think that being an entrepreneur, having some control over how much money you're making, I think that's very powerful and can change lives. And maybe you have a business that isn't as profitable as you like, and you're nearly ready to give up, but you want to give it one more chance by implementing some tried and true strategies. I totally feel you on that, right? Because like I said, we already saw the staggering statistics. 90% of online startups fail within the first 4 months. So if you are in this situation, I truly feel for you. And I do have to say that, you've done so much work already. It is possible that through implementing the right strategies, you could come out on top. Or perhaps your business is working. Like, maybe you're someone who's just getting started and you're liking how things are progressing, but your sales just aren't where they want them to be yet. Like when I had when I went full-time for myself and I had an income from my blog and YouTube, but I was saying, you know what, I want to make more than this, right? So if you're in that situation, optimizing your social media marketing with your existing products could be the jolt of new capital that you need for your business. Okay, so that's what I got, you guys. And feel free, if you have another reason for being here today, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about that. And, going off of this topic right now, I would say that if you're someone who is really serious about this, let me mentor you to reach your online business potential. Because you guys, like I said earlier, I've been making myself a resource year after year for you guys, more and more, creating as many free products, free content, free trainings as I can. Really trying to do the most I can to make sure that you guys are getting value and learning from what I've already learned. So if you want to work with me, right? If you want to be mentored by me, let me welcome you to the new upgraded Empire Building. Okay. If you're not familiar with Empire Building, it is my signature online business course that teaches you a modern approach to building a successful online business. Okay. And Empire Building, if you have not heard yet, has just gone digital. Okay. So it's now a video module based course that is hosted on its own dedicated web server. Okay, so what is Empire Building if you have never heard of this yet? It is a self-paced online business and marketing course delivered through 6 video modules with digital workbooks and activities that correspond with each. It's designed to give you all the information you need to apply my empire building model and strategies to your own business. So those 6 phases of the entrepreneurship are all delivered through Empire Building, and we go in depth on each of those in each of the modules. And it includes some online community, and some special bonus materials that I want to talk about with you guys now if you guys are curious. So what you will learn in Empire Building. Module number 1 is all about branding. So in module number 1, you're going to learn to establish that cohesive visual brand. And hopefully it will not take you as long as it took me, because this module is all about helping you identify what that branding is, double checking that it's right for what your messaging is, right? That's all part of module number 1, solidifying your brand. Module number 2 is all about communication and platforms of communication, in which you're going to learn the essential platforms of online communication and how to use each to your advantage. I'm going to lay out for you what all of the platforms that you should be using are, or what all that you could be using are, I should say. And I'm going to tell you how to use and optimize each, and then you can choose what works for your business and your lifestyle. Okay? That's all covered in module number 2. Module number 3 is community building. Okay, remember we said establishing that community is so important. Learning how to grow a community online and turning them into super fans. And like I said, those super fans are those people who are, devoted. They're following you in different places. They're purchasing your products. They're sharing your content. They're people who are helping you grow your business. They're like unpaid employees. And if you think about it, it's not that they're unpaid, right? Because they're getting a tremendous amount of value from you, or they would not be your super fan, right? So developing community, understand how to go out there and get the community for yourself. It's all covered in module number 3. Then module number 4 is advertising, where you're going to learn how to master content marketing to promote your brand and business so you get even more growth, and most importantly, sales and cross promotion. So important. And then module number 5 is income, learning about different online income streams and how to diversify to make more money. So important, right? Because we want to make sure that we're making money. At the end of the day, a business is not a business if it doesn't make money. And look, you guys, isn't it so ironic too, that as you go through this, if you think back to my story, it's really, I have purposefully set up Empire Building to mimic the natural progression of online business as I took it, establishing my brand, figuring out my communication methods and my content, building that community, advertising for myself, and maximizing my income streams. But remember I said that there was actually 6 modules, right? Because there's a new module number 6. This is one of the upgrades that came to Empire Building this round, and it's business administration. So learning how to plan and execute on your business through project planning, financial management, and system building. This is something that was so highly requested within Empire Building that I knew I had to add it. It is the bonus module number 6 that will help take your business from just being a business to hopefully organizing yourself as an entrepreneur who can juggle multiple streams of income seamlessly through streamlining your systems and making sure that you're focusing your time and effort on where you really should be so you can regain your time. Okay, so if you're not familiar, there are 2 paths of Empire Building. Path number 1 is the blueprint path. It is a completely self-guided experience. All of Empire Building is. It includes the 6 modules of the program and all the course materials, activities, workbooks. And it includes access to the private Facebook group community, which is what I said earlier about having a community online where people are going to support, ask questions. I add resources to my community all the time. It's such an extended value. And of course, you also get unlimited access to Q&A with me. Path number 2 is the architect level path. You get everything listed in Blueprint, okay? Everything listed in Blueprint. The only difference is you get 2 one-on-one calls with me. One of them is a 60-minute quick start call, and one of them is a 90-minute business planning intensive. So if you're familiar with how empire building was formulated before, you know that I had an architect path before. It was a little bit different. But after getting feedback from people and really understanding what moved the needle for people's businesses, the empire builders in architect path who were the most successful, this is what I've determined is the best plan forward. To give you a quick start call where we're going to talk about your plan and stuff like that, and I will give you direction on what I see you need to be doing for your business. And then a 90-minute business planning intensive where you and I are sitting down together, virtually of course, and we are mapping out your business plans so that there's no question about what the plan is, so that you can just go ahead and execute it, right? And you're going to have the guided eyes, the experienced eyes of me for you in that scenario. So this path is limited because this is the way that I work one-on-one with people. People ask me all the time, can I hire you as a coach or a consultant? No, architect path students are the only ones who get access to me. So this is limited. If you are interested in this path, if you are interested in working with me one-on-one, this is the way you do it. Now let's talk about some of these wonderful bonuses because let me tell you, empire building is loaded with them. First, bonus blueprints. I have 4 of them right now in the course. Number 1 is creating click-worthy headlines. So creating those headlines and those titles for your blog posts and your YouTube videos that will get people's attention and draw people in. And simultaneously at the same time, this is a really great workbook to help you generate ideas for content as well if you're someone who has trouble with that. Number 2 is pricing strategies. So if you're someone who struggles with pricing your products or services, this goes into detail on all the different ways you could be pricing and what I recommend for each scenario. We've got a blueprint on email list building. So getting started with email list, getting people's names on that list, promoting yourself that way so that you can directly email people, which is a great source of income as well. To be able to use that as a platform of communication is wonderful. And then finally, a blueprint on your business plan. Because this is, a lot of people want their business plan to be solidified. It may not be the first thing you need to work on. I don't think your business plan is the first thing you need to work on, but once you get to the point where you need to have one, I've got a outline for you to fill in so that you've got your business plan all created. More bonuses. We've got some bonus masterclasses in empire building as well with more to come. And these are video masterclasses. So we've got the blogging masterclass in there right now, which is a whole class like we did today, dedicated to blogging, how you set up your blog, how you get started with content creation, managing your editorial calendar, producing content, and yes, making money through your blog. We also have a class called Planning for a Successful Holiday Promotion, which is not just a holiday promotions. You can actually apply it to any promotion you want to run. But because Q4, the holiday time, tends to be a very big time for businesses through holiday promotions, I did a whole one on there, right? I did a whole video for you on that. So we've got that soup to nuts, how to do a promotion. And then finally in there, we've got the New Year business planning session. This is something I did at the end of the year live with my empire builders. And I may do it again live this year because I really love it. But if you're someone who's, joining the course and you don't have your planning started, this is something that'll be a great process for you to go through. And of course, going through it, year after year at the end of the year, making sure that you're closing your year out and starting your new year fresh. So important. Okay. So I'm seeing some comments in here in the, down here that people want to know how much the price is. So we're going to talk about the investment right now. Okay. What is the investment in this course? So similar online business programs charge upwards of $2,000 or more for the same content. What you get with a $2,000 program is access to a figurehead that dials in for calls. Your questions are not answered by the person whose program it is, right? Because they're a very busy person, right? They're answered by a staff member who has canned responses that they give to everyone. So you're not even getting personalized one-on-one support from the person that you're buying the program from. Similarly, business development calls cost hundreds of dollars for a 60 to 90-minute session. They can be very expensive having a business consultant, especially someone who has experience in the areas that you are interested in. So expensive. I mean, I have a friend who does very well. She charges over $700 for a 90-minute session, $700, and people pay for it because she has her niche of what she does and she's very good at it. So these things can cost a lot, right? But empire building is structured as an affordable, streamlined alternative. So what does empire building cost? The blueprint path of empire building is $497. The architect path that gets you those calls with me and those one-on-ones is $997. That's the full retail price. But that's not the price that you're going to pay today because we're right now in a promotional launch period. So from today to March 7th, Eastern time, midnight, I have a $200 discount running on both of the paths. So you can get the blueprint path for $297 and you can get architect path for $797. Obviously, architect path is more expensive because you're getting time with me, significant time and significant planning. So really quickly, let's talk about who this is for because I want to be clear on who the course is for so that you know if it's right for you. So it's for a blogger, business owner, or social media enthusiast who needs to learn the essentials of online marketing. It's also great for a solopreneur or a business owner with a small team that wants to streamline their brand and presence online to promote products and services through content marketing. It's also for a business owner looking to be part of a community of like-minded individuals who are going through the same process and willing to share what they've learned along the way. Okay, who is this not for? Again, I want to make sure that the wrong people do not buy this program because I'm not just trying to sell this. I really want to make sure that I have the right people in my program so that I'm helping the right people and I'm putting my energy and my time into the right people because it's an investment for me as well, this program. So who is this not for? It's not for someone who wants to learn how to become a professional social media consultant or someone who wants to create an online marketing course. This course is not a social media certification, and it's by no means all-encompassing or intended for use for those who wish to teach social media to others. The strategies are mine, and the examples are mine, and they're not intended for redistribution. If you have been running an online business for some time and you believe that you're still missing information that I might have, I want you to message me, email me first, and let me evaluate your situation before you purchase. Again, if you're someone who's got experience but you're not sure if empire building is right for you, I will be able to tell by looking at your situation and looking at your platforms where I see you've got gaps and if empire building can help you. Again, I'm not just trying to sell this to people. This is an investment on time for me as well. So, this is also not for someone who wants to buy followers or find an easy answer to building a business online. This course is not an easy button. I told you guys already, building a business is hard, but what this is strategic information designed to be acted upon in order to help you grow your business. Now, where there is a little bit of a caveat to this is that it took me years and years and years to find this information and really to understand it and execute it and really to be able to see the problem from multiple directions. So you're getting all of this information that I learned that you can sit and just watch and just go through the activities and the workbook and you're going to absorb all of it. And while you're going through that process, you're building a plan for yourself to execute. So that is where this is an easy button. Not an effort. You have to put in the effort, but you're going to get the information that took me years to develop in literally just like a matter of moments. Like whatever amount of time you have to devote to the program to go through it, you are going to have the right information. Okay, so are you guys ready to get started? So you know that the course website and the video modules launch March 8th after this promotion period ends. All the workbooks are ready. So you can start immediately once you purchase with the workbook. So you can get started if you want to right now, or you can wait for the course website, which is we're just waiting on final testing. And I also need to, I need to move over existing empire builders as well as the people who join during this promotional period. I need to get you guys set up on the back end so that you guys have access because this is you'll log into this website. So that's why I'm not launching it all today because I want to kind of give myself some time to get you guys and everybody else in so everyone's situated. But it's just 2 weeks from now, right? So 2 weeks from now, you'll be in the course, but you can start working through the workbooks immediately. Now, if you don't want to start now, don't worry. You can buy now and lock in the special pricing and the bonuses and start once you're ready. I've had people do this. It's absolutely not a problem. You can let me know that you are starting like in the summer, but if this does not go on sale very often, so if you want to get started a little bit later, but you want to save money now, absolutely take advantage of the pricing. So what are the next steps if you are interested? There is a link down below that says that it says, I'm ready to build my empire. You see that button, you guys, right under this video? Click that, and you will be transported over to the shop where you'll be able to choose between the blueprint path or the architect path, whichever path you want to work on. If you want to do it yourself and just get Q&A with me, take blueprint. If you want me one-on-one in your corner working with you on this, that's going to be the architect path. So you're going to add it to your shop, the cart, you're in the shop, and you're going to check out via PayPal. You do not need to have a PayPal account. You can sign out, you can check through as a guest. You just put your credit card information or your debit card information in there so that you can pay for it and check out through there securely. Once you've paid via PayPal, you're going to be redirected back to my shop and you'll have access to download the welcome letter and all of the workbooks and bonuses. You'll also be emailed the downloads upon checkout, and your account is going to be set up on the dedicated course website and information will be mailed to you. So I'm going to be getting to work when you sign up, getting you on the back end of the course website for the official launch of that on the 8th. And of course, if you've chosen the architect path, you will have information in your welcome letter for arranging those one-on-one calls with me, and we can start those as soon as you'd like. Now, getting started right now is just a matter of printing out the workbooks, joining the Facebook community, and enjoying the bonuses until the live course page goes up. And of course, I just have to say, internet-enabled device is required to access your files and watch the videos. All of the workbooks and things like that are PDFs, so it's pretty universal. So let's really quickly talk about who's inside of this program, because like I said, it's a community where you can connect with other like-minded businesses. So we've got business services people in there. So we've got coaches, VAs, editors. We've got people working in health and wellness, health coaches, nutritionists, trainers, nonprofit organizations, women's wellness. We've got finance people in there, accounting, investors, bookkeepers. We have IT and web services like designers, bloggers, YouTubers, social media pros. We've got people who work in the spiritual realm, right? So we've got Reiki practitioners, tarot readers, astrologists, and different ministries. Tons of arts and crafters, writers, novelists, handcrafters, musicians, actors, fine artists, makeup artists, and photographers, and more. There really is a ton of people here in the program. I'm very lucky to have a really great community in there, and I'm so happy about the diversity we've got, because really in a program like this, the people you network with within a program is so important. Because let's say you're starting a business or a brand and you want a logo designed, and I've got a designer. There's designers here in the program. That you could ask, if they want to work with you, right? So it's awesome. So this is a great way for you to network and build your business with other people who are going through the situation with you, right? So if you want to hear from some empire building alum, right? So we've got some people here to introduce you to. First, we've got Mandy Bruner of the Leather Quill Shop. I've got Lisa Parker, also known as Magical Lisa. We've got Jen Lazarus, who is a novelist, a published novelist. Stephanie Crystal, who does virtual assistant services and project management. We've got Rada Kurchenko, who is known as Planner Doll Papery. And Madeline Joan, who is an astrologist over at Written in the Stars, okay? So if you are interested in hearing about what empire building can do for you and your business and your brand, I have these testimonials linked below the chat, and you can just read through them and their experiences and kind of like a little bit of their before and after, right? But I want to save you guys time right now, all about the time. If you're interested in hearing more from these ladies that are in the program, absolutely feel free to read those at your own leisure, okay? So let's get started doing this together. You can begin now for only $297. The link is down below. Like I said, it says, I'm ready to build my empire. And when you buy today, or I should say buy tomorrow night, Wednesday the 22nd at midnight Eastern, you will get the Fast Action bonus for free, which is an online business video review by me. Now, You need to redeem this within 60 days of the offer. I will actually send out an email to you probably at the close of the promotional period. So on the 8th, you'll get an email from me that says you are eligible for the fast action bonus. And I will give you all the information you need to fill out to give back to me so that I can do your business video review. And you'll send it back to me within 60 days and we'll schedule your, not schedule because I just do it myself and I send it back to you. And you get a video from me where I walk through all of your ideas, your content platforms, whatever we've discussed that you need help with. And you get to keep that video. You get to download it. It's yours forever. So you can use that as a resource to kind of have me over your shoulder the whole time. You don't need to take notes necessarily. You've got it there for you to reference over and over. And remember, you guys, that the sale price right now ends on the 7th of March at midnight Eastern. Again, is the time that this ends, right? So that is it. So let's go ahead and start talking about some frequently asked questions, because I know we've gotten some questions in here, and I've got a bunch. Where did I put them? I have a couple that I always get that I'm going to answer for you guys. Give me 1 second. Here they are. Okay. Hope you guys can still hear me. Sorry, I'm walking around my office looking for pieces of paper. Okay, first question is, how long do you have access to Empire Building for? And the answer is as long as Empire Building exists. So as long as it exists, I'm still doing this, you have access to the program, right? So it's not something where you only have a year access, that $200, only the $297 only buys you a year in the program. You have it for as long as you need, plus you get to keep the workbooks, right? So the workbooks are just like a written out version of the videos. So you'll have those forever, even if something happens to me and I no longer am doing Empire Building. So you get this for as long as you need it, right? So how long is the sale again? That is until the 7th at midnight Eastern. And one other thing I do want to point out to you guys is there a payment plan? I get questions about this all the time. Yes, I do have a payment plan. Let me explain this to you. So please pay attention if you are interested in doing a payment plan instead of buying it at once. So if you go down to the bottom of this page, underneath Madeline Jones' little picture and her story, there is a button that says sign me up for the payment plan. This is a 3-pay plan of $100 each payment, and you will pay it once a month for 3 months, and then you get full access to the program. What you will get is the 6 workbooks are going to be, well, I should really say the first 4. When you pay today $100, you're going to get the first 2 workbooks. Then your second payment, you'll get the second 2. And on your third payment, you're going to actually get full access to everything. And I'll put you into the group. So you can do that. The content is dripped to you. So you're not getting it all at once because you haven't paid for it all at once. But if this is something where the $300 is not, is too much for you right now, you can do that. Keep in mind, you are going to lose the fast action bonus. So you won't be able to get the fast action bonus unless you buy all at once. So that's really for people who are committing today, starting fully today, saying $297, sign me up, check me out. You will get the fast action bonus for that. But because I'm making like a concession with the payment plan, please understand that there is not going to be there's nothing, there's not going to be that bonus, but there are other bonuses that are within the program that you're also going to get. So that's just the one thing you won't get, right? So, and I think that probably makes sense to many of you why that is the way I've chosen to do that. Now, I want to go through, I know I saw some questions in here, and I want to say someone asked if you're allowed to upgrade. Absolutely. This is one of the things about Empire Building. If you are someone who wants to get started now and start by yourself, you can sign up for Blueprint Path at the $297. And if down the road you're like, oh, you know what, I really need Alexis's help, you can upgrade to the calls with me. I absolutely always let people do that. So that is something that definitely can happen. Now, the caveat with that is that the pricing may change, right? So if you want to upgrade and I'm not having a sale, you are going to pay whatever the difference is. That's all you pay. So you'll pay just the difference between what you initially paid, whatever your initial investment was, to what the course costs now. So I think that's pretty fair. I know a lot of people say that that's a really great thing that I offer, to be able to just, all you have to do is pay the difference, no penalties or anything like that. And just to address this as well, I do not have a payment plan for the architect path. And the way that I see this is that, obviously, if you need the payment plan for the $297, you're definitely going to need it for the $797. So start with Blueprint Path, and then we can upgrade later. And I may be willing to work with people who want to do some sort of payment plan after they're done with the initial investment into Blueprint. So I hope that makes sense and is fair. So are there any other questions from you guys here today with me? I still have plenty of you going through this right now. So please let me know. We've got some people here who are talking about empire building. Thank you so much. I always have a few empire builders who pop in on these, which I really appreciate them being able to answer questions for people. Okay, someone said, will the Blueprint option help me figure out what business to begin? Yes. And I say that with a caveat of, obviously you need to do the work, but that's what this is designed to do. If you're not sure what business you want to start, it's going to give you ideas and it's going to help you nail it down. Absolutely. That was Anon 7373 replying to you. Seems like people are excited about the new site, which I'm very excited about as well. Okay, someone said, on branding, do you sit down and think about what symbols people should associate with you? Or did it all develop over time? Did you go back over old content and redesign it, delete it, or just let in the old design? So that's a really great question. So yes, I kind of sat down and thought about what symbols people should associate with me at some point, and then it kind of naturally developed over time as well. Because remember, this is something that was a process that took me years. I don't expect that you're going to have whatever your branding is after you go through the branding blueprint. I think it's going to be a really strong brand, but it may still change for you, right? Because if you're getting started and you don't have all that time and experience under your belt, you may tweak things. You absolutely are going to tweak things. Like I said, there's never any business that starts one way and ends the exact same way. But the branding part, the branding module is definitely going to help you with that, is identifying what you need to start with and making sure it's all in line with your messaging. And then obviously you're going to be building on that with communication and community building, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you also asked, did I go over old content and redesign it or delete it or just let it go? I just let it go. I let it live there. And it's part of my story as far as I'm concerned. You guys could go back into my archives and find Pink Mac blog posts. I don't think you can find anything from the original one, but yeah, that's definitely, it's definitely all there. Someone asked, when you started out and worked 9 to 5, how did you determine how much time just I guess you mean like to devote to my side hustle? That was really just determined by how much free time I had, right? So when I was still just dabbling, it was kind of just like here and there, I would go ahead and do that. But I'm sorry, I'm just getting distracted because I'm reading another comment. I need to just like focus on one comment at a time. When I first got started and I was just dabbling, it was like whatever time I could steal here and there. Once I started getting consistent and like decided I'm going to do this, I blocked off time and I looked at my schedule and figured out what time I could afford to block off. And it was almost like I had a second job. So I would say if you know you have certain free time that you could block off, that would be my recommendation. Someone is working, well, they're at their 9 to 5. Sorry. What do you say about current empire builders who purchased the workbooks before? Do we have to pay to get access to the new site? All that information is going to be in the Facebook group, but yeah, we're going to talk about that, moving you guys over, but there's not going to be a pay access. No, we're going to just get you guys moved over. Okay, do you guys have any other questions? There's still a significant portion of you here, but it's possible people are still going through and just going through. And look, you guys, it's an hour and a half. I did it. I stuck to a time. When has this ever happened? Okay, I'm going to wait like maybe another 5 minutes because I know that there's a delay. And then I'm going to close up shop. But I will say this. Whoever is in here that's maybe still watching through, like maybe you popped in late, leave me questions. I will come back to the chat later and I will continue to chat with you guys. Someone said, what's the difference between work smarter, not harder, masterclass? is this similar question? No. Work Smarter, Not Harder. That bundle is a productivity class. So that's about planning and productivity. This is business. This is online business. It's not the same thing at all. Empire building is online business. So if you're someone who wants to start an online business, empire building is the course for you. If you're someone who maybe has like a regular job, or maybe you don't work, or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, whatever your situation is, that's teaching you my strategies for getting more done and, building success. Someone said, are e-commerce websites the way to go, or should I develop my own? That depends on your situation. It depends on your situation. I guess when you say e-commerce websites, you mean like eBay or Etsy. Yeah, there's definitely people who, like, even within my community, I'll give you an example. Manny Bruner, who does the leather quill shop. She is an amazing entrepreneur who was an architect level path. We got her in, and she legit, it was like, I don't even remember how quick it was. She launched her shop on Etsy, she made like 100 sales in like the first month. She was like selling out of products left and right. And essentially, I think and I don't want to say this and be wrong, she's handed in her notice to her work, to her business, where she works, because she is making too much money, like on her side hustle. She's actually transferring to like start her own business. So she is still on Etsy, and it makes sense for her. So it really just comes down to what your business is and what your level is, and how confident you feel with developing your own site. There's a lot of different website builders out there, like Spotify too, and Big Cartel, and different places where you could create a site that looks independent, even though it's not like doing your own coding and stuff. Okay, so someone said, would you recommend the empire building for replacing a lost job, or just a side hustle replacing an existing job? No, either one. It doesn't, let me tell you, with empire building, it does not matter if you want to make your side hustle your full-time job, or if you just want it to be your side hustle. So it's really, if this is all about you just want to start a business, either it's just something for you to make money on the side, or it's something that you would like to one day do as your full-time job, empire building helps you with that. Yes, there will be a replay. Absolutely. I always have a replay. This is available for a few weeks, and it said it in the email that you guys are going to have access to this multiple times. No problem, Jamie Joe. Okay, any other questions? I'm going to do that thing again where I wait 5 minutes. Awesome, Haley. Can't wait to see you inside. Oh, that's not Haley. Geez Louise, 2 people. Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. Yes, there is a payment plan. If you scroll down underneath these testimonial pictures for people who are empire builders, there's a button that says sign me up for the payment plan. And again, the payment plan, it's 3 payments of $100, and you will get the content of the program dripped to you. Someone says, do you have a program that helps with getting a store set up on your own website? Empire building helps with that. Yeah, there's resources within empire building to help you, to teach you how to build your own store the same way I did. And we talk about copywriting and things like that inside of empire building as well. Awesome. Okay. I'm getting some off-topic comments here, so you guys make sure you just keep it to what we're talking about today. I want to make sure we're spending time on valuable information. Just gonna sit around for a couple more minutes. Feel free to pop out, you guys. You guys will get the replay email tomorrow. So thank you guys all for coming. And I hope you guys found this interesting. And I want you guys to keep in touch. Let me know what you guys do with this information. And you guys can feel free to like share, the invite to this program if you guys, not just the program, but like this webinar. Thank you so much, Layla. Okay. Okay. So I think we're good on questions now. If anyone, like, again, someone says, hey, how do you teach how to do a launch? Yes, that's going to be something that's actually going to be something that's going to be inside of Empire Building. Very soon is my launch process. I might do a masterclass on it. The payment plan will end on 3/7. So everything ends. The sale ends and the payment plan goes away after the 7th. Yes. Thank you so much, Little Phantom, for coming and spending your time with me. I hope this was helpful and valuable to you. Okay, I think we're going to go one more minute. One more minute. Okay, you guys, feel free to pop off if you're done. Like I said, you guys can get a replay for this if you want to watch it again. And feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. You can also leave questions here in the chat and I'm going to come back. And I am also going to be doing some other fun sorts of, not programs, but like not other webinars. We're going to be doing some other live events this week. So, or really over the next 2 weeks. I have a couple of other things planned for you. So watch out for your email, because if you're interested in this topic of entrepreneurship, I've got some other content for you guys as well.